You big dummy!
You're fired! What in the all types of blue hell?
That was a lie. That was a lie.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Lowered expectation. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
What's good, everyone? AB Media 83 here. And welcome to Colosseum Daily. Now, today we're going to talk about why should any man, and I do mean any man, vote blue? I don't know. I heard she quit the Democrat Party. I haven't really looked into it. But why should any man vote for the Democrat Party? That is the question I'm asking tonight. If you haven't seen, the Democrat Party plans to spend $20 million on how to talk to men. No, I didn't make that up. The Democrat Party wants to spend $20 million on how to talk to men. I imagine I'm talking to a lot of men now. Why would you need $20 million to talk to men? Oh, well, I guess when you're the party of, abortion and other crap, I guess you do. Yeah, $20 million, $20 million. And unfortunately, there are some people left, and I will show that later. And it goes to my point. Why should any man vote for the Democrat Party? What is our incentive to vote for the Democrat Party? Yeah, seems like that. We are living in the age of bullshit. But that's the question I'm asking today. And if you don't believe me that the Democrats are going to spend $20 million, well, let's look at it. Let's look at a news report about it.
Yeah. Like there's some.
Let's start from the beginning.
Welcome back, young men leaving.
And we're going to speed this up just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit.
The Democrat Party, and no one on the left can seem to figure out why. Well, in fact, according to the New York Times, the party's dropping $20 million to try and solve this big mystery. We could probably save them some cash and just say it's stuff like this.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, they want to spend $1 million to talk to men, talk to young men like me. Oh, by the way, the numbers are out. Donald Trump did win young people. Yes, that's right. A Republican president want young people. I warned the Democrats years ago, back in 2016, which is almost 10 years ago. I warned them 10 years ago. You keep playing the games you playing, you're gonna lose a generation. They FA'd and FO'd. Shout out to Horowitz. No reason to vote blue anymore, but showing up at the ballot was taken as a guarantee, and our concerns dismissed because of who else is going to vote for. Who else are you going to vote for? Just pull that lever, boy. Mindset. Yeah, no more. And you get, give me 1 second here. You get cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. You better thank your donors. Yeah, pretty much. They didn't give you a reason to vote for you. In fact, a lot of people are asking now, what does the Democrat Party stand for? Nobody knows. Well, we kind of know what they stand for. They want they appear to be for, Transformers playing in women's sports. They're for boys in the women's and the girls' bathroom. They're for they're allegedly for legitimate rights, and I do say allegedly because even the legitimate gives them even other legitimates give them the side eye. Even they're giving them the side eye. So what do they stand for? Who knows? Let's continue with this.
Choose your character.
Oh gosh, I forgot about this. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is why they need to spend. They're right. This is why they need to spend $20 million to get men to vote for them. And you know what? I'm actually going to slow that down just a little bit so you can get a good look at it. I had forgotten about this.
I'm looking for a yellow bone.
Yeah. That's why they needed to spend $20 billion in order to reach men.
Long hair star, thick in the hips, come get.
All right, that's right. After ignoring the economy, exploding prices, and our open southern border, to go all in on social justice and saving democracy, they're stunned to see that their former working class coalition is vanishing. But hey, it's nothing a check to a DC think tank can't fix. And what is, astonishing to me about this and the $20 million plan that they have is they want to go after young men. They realize that President Trump won this last election because of his outreach to young men who are so lost in this country and looking for direction, and also the different platforms that he used to get his messaging out there. Brian, I don't really think they care about young men. I just think they realize they lost that vote, and so they need to try to buy it, basically, in the next election if they want to win again.
$20 million? That's all you offering? Really?
But then that speaks exactly to what the problem is, which is they still don't understand why they lost. They still don't get it.
Well, they knew men were involved in losing, so they got that part of it. But they care for men like a scientist cares for whatever's in the petri dish when they're looking through the microscope. Just like if you're studying men, you already wrong. You are on the wrong track if your approach is to study men. Here's the thing they think President Trump has like this magic formula with men. He didn't have a magic formula with men. All he said is, you're not evil. You're not racist, and you're not existentially wrong for being a man. That's it. And men are like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And then the other thing he basically said is, now I'm going to leave you alone to live your life. And that is actually what guys want. but they don't want to be studied.
Yeah.
Like there's
Amen.
some animal in the wild that nobody's seen before, and what are his movements? And they definitely don't want to be compared to Tim Walz. I get rid of that guy right away.
Look, you're talking about sincerity. President
I felt that one. Oh, yeah, we don't want to be compared to Tim Walz, and we also don't want to be compared to this clown either, or these clowns. Oh man, but I felt that one. What's going on, Rael?
Trump led with sincerity. He knew what was wrong with them, what was wrong in society. He said it and said he was going to make changes.
Yeah.
That you can't fake sincerity, right? And the Democrats are faking sincerity. They want to study. But here's my bigger issue is, why do you need to spend any money? I thought, maybe I'm wrong, the job of a politician is to be for the people. Go out and talk to your constituents. Those are
Yeah, why do you need $20 million to talk to men? Can't you do that for free? Talking is free. I'm talking right now. Why do you need to spend $20 million to talk to men? That's the question I'm asking today.
your constituents. Figure out what they want. Actually take the time to address them and figure out what their
Jasmine
issues are.
Crockett said she wanted a job when she grew up where she didn't have to talk to people.
So let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. The Democrat Party, they want to spend $20 million to figure out why men are leaving their party in droves.
Yes, April, they want to spend $20 million to figure out why we want to tell the Democrat Party to kick rocks.
Listen, I didn't even need 20 minutes, let alone $20 million, to tell you that men don't want to be associated with a bunch of folks who think that a bearded man in stilettos is brave and beautiful. Y'all, masculine men are not the problem. Your ideology is, I'm sorry, it sucks, it's trash. But go off, blue team. But I'm here to help you out, and I'll do it for free. Coming up next on Unshakable with April Chapman. Unshakable with April Chapman, where we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. I'm your host, April Chapman, and welcome to today's show. We're going to have fun with this one because apparently the Democrats, they just realized that they've got a man problem, y'all. They've got a man problem. And no, I don't.
They've been having a man problem. They've had one for quite some time now.
I'm not talking about the imaginary toxic masculinity that they're always complaining about.
Right.
I'm talking about the Democrat Party has a real demographic defection.
Yes.
Men across all social, economic, and racial and just cultural lines, they're leaving the party, and they're leaving the party faster than Biden can finish a sentence.
Ooh.
And so instead of them, I don't know, doing some soul searching, some introspection, the left is doing what they always do. They're just going to throw some money at a problem that they created and then stand back confused, and if they don't understand how we got here. So what I want to do to you guys, or for you guys, I want to make it plain. Masculine men are just, they're wired for some basics like truth, logic, order, hierarchy, and purpose. And so progressivism sends a different message. Progressivism says, well, there is no truth. And order and structure is oppressive. And having hierarchy is harmful. And, masculinity is toxic. And so, yeah, listen, they're always telling you that, you need to step aside and make space for the birthing people and the drag nannies. And so when you listen to all of
Oh, yes, that's the funny part. They don't even really have respect for women. Some of them are going around calling women who have children, quote unquote, birthing people. I wish I was making that term up. They actually call women who have birthing people. Goes just as well as Latinx. Okay, let me read this. So they rather spend wild bread than Oh, I don't know. Talk to and with men instead of at, about, and around them. Yeah, pretty much. By the way, their name for this new initiative is hold on, wait a minute. Let me set some stuff up here. We're gonna have a little fun here. Let me set up some stuff up here for a minute. Let's see. Let's see. Let's turn my virtual camera on, and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn my camera on. Oh, yeah, I did that. However, we're not looking at that right now. We're going to be looking at the desktop app, and yep, here we go. Yes, that is my thumbnail for today, written in my own program. But anyway, let's do a new document. Need a rich text document. And we're gonna need gonna put this on the chalkboard. I'm gonna raise this up a little bit. Good size. And the name of this, in fact, we're gonna even make this bigger. The name of this new project, this $20 million, is called SAM. SAM stands for speaking. Now SAM stands for speaking. With American men. That's what the acronym is supposed to stand for. Speaking with American men. That's the alleged. This is the $20 million project that they're talking about. Now, I just have a simple question. I have a simple question about this. Is it speaking with or speaking at? Which is it, Democrats? Do you really want to speak with American men, or do you want to speak at American men? That is the question. Let's go back to April for a little bit.
That you need to ask yourself, what part of that is appealing to a real man? Not much.
Nope.
So
It's not.
men they don't want to compete with mascara wearing men in dresses. Okay. They're just not going to do
Nope.
it. And so
We're not.
I don't care how many TikTok tutorials you post. No masculine man is trying to coexist with Dylan Mulvaney, and he's not trying to go to the gym with him, shim, it, whatever. He's not trying to deal with that at his kid's school. Y'all want men to just sit down and shut up and celebrate this foolishness.
Yeah, pretty much.
While
it ain't gonna happen, but pretty much.
Dude with size 13 heels takes over the women's track team and the women's locker room, and masculine men are like, yeah, the buck stops there. That's not going to happen. And so what the left has tried to do with all of this inclusion is now what they're realizing is that this mass delusion is not working on everyone. And so since men still have testosterone in their bloodstream, at least the ones that do still have testosterone in their bloodstream, they're allergic. They're allergic to the delusion, and it's not working.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have the average, principled, hardworking man. He sees the foolishness that's going on in the left, and he immediately thinks to himself that, yeah, this is not for me. I'm not signing up for any of that. My man card matters, and I'm keeping it. And I am inclined to agree with them. I don't think they should accept it. God's word does not make an allowance for it. When we read in Genesis 1:27 that God made them male and female, he did not create a spectrum. He created something binary, two distinct complementary roles.
Shout out to electricians. Thank you for the super chat. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Hit the Cash App, support the show. Hit the super chat, support the show. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. You better thank your donors.
And so when you try to destroy that, you end up destroying everything else. And so this is what the left is experiencing. So the story is that they want to spend $20 million to see if they can figure out why men are defecting. And I can tell you the reason why they're defecting is because there's too much matriarchal madness and misandry. Okay, men are tired of it. They're tired of this matriarchal, anti-man energy.
She's probably not going to say it, but the gynocracy. Yes, we're tired of the gynocracy. And yeah, I said it for all the butthurt blues are watching. Yeah, I said the word. We're tired of the gynocracy. You don't like it, you can always kick rocks. But anyway.
That the Democrat Party swims in. And it's that kind of feminism that says, we don't need a man. Men are the problem. Men are just walking paychecks and sperm donors. We just want their resources, but they add no value to our lives. When you spend decades telling men that they're either oppressors or predators or useless, you should not be shocked when they don't vote for you.
Well, say it again.
But here's
the good, black woman.
The thing, Democrats have become the party of chaos. They've got gender chaos, family chaos, classroom chaos, and community chaos. And the deal is men were created by God to bring order. Men bring order. They don't function well in chaos. There's a scripture.
You're not religious, I understand.
Scripture in 1 Corinthians 16, verse 13, that says, "Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong." It's simple, but the left hates that kind of talk. And they hate that because they're a bunch of anti-Christian bigots. They hate God's design. But real men, even those who don't even profess and claim the name of Christ, real men, they crave that kind of purpose
well,
and clarity, and it makes sense to them because it's logical. God is a God of order and logic and reason, and therefore,
yes,
men, now all of us are created in the image of God, but God has uniquely wired men to view the world in this way. So the question that I want to ask is, why did you need to spend $20 million to study this? What a waste of money. You don't need a focus group or a task force or a Yale gender theory.
Oh, by the way, they decided all this in a luxury hotel.
Think tank to figure any of this out. All y'all needed is a Bible and some common sense. And I told y'all I was going to help y'all out for free. If the Democrats want men back, they're going to have to change a lot. They're going to have to stop glorifying abortion and mocking fatherhood.
Oh, good luck getting them to do that.
They're going to have to put a stop to that. They're going to have to stop promoting gender bending ideology, all this fluidity. No, you got to cut that mess out. They're going to have to stop celebrating female mediocrity and calling it equality. Men are naturally competitive. They want to compete.
Wait a minute, April. Don't talk about the majority of the WNBA like that. Oops, did I say that out loud? Well, maybe with the exception of Caitlin Clark. Yeah, I said it.
They want to hunt for it. And when you lower standards in an effort to celebrate female mediocrity, it sends a message to men that the competitive streak that you are wired with to dominate and conquer and to mark out your territory and to win and hunt, there's something wrong with you because this mediocre female here, according to the culture, she's just as good as you and y'all are the same. The Dems also, they're gonna have to stop demonizing men for just wanting to lead, right? You cannot demonize men and force them to actively suppress something that comes natural to them, which is to.
Wait a minute, April. Don't talk about the 92% like the oops. Did I say that out loud? Yeah, don't talk about the 92% like that. Oops.
Lead, protect, and to provide. And overall, treating masculinity like a crime.
Yep.
You're gonna lose them. You're gonna lose them each and every time.
I told people that long before I got in the manosphere, I told Democrats this years ago. You keep playing around, you're gonna lose a generation. And look where we're at right now.
But here's something that's reassuring. To do all of that, right? The Democrats are going to have to stop being Democrats. And since we know they can't do that, this should be a celebratory dance for the right. Those of us on the right, we already know that the left is going to continue to bang their head up against a wall and to continue to try and do the same thing, hoping for different results. They'll throw money at it, but change.
What's that old definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result? Yeah, it sounds like the Democrat Party.
No, that's something that they cannot do. They cannot change or admit that they've gone off the rails. The left is.
Oh, and for the record, sound like the Republican Party too until Trump came in. Yeah, I said it.
Gone so.
This is equal opportunity over here. Neither party's for you. You just have to pick your poison.
Far off the cliff into this radical feminism and LGBTQ ideology, and they play heavily in identity politics that they can't even see what a man is anymore, let alone appeal to one. So if you don't know what is a man or what is a woman, how you gonna spend money to try to figure out what this demographic of people want that you can't even define because your spectrum of foolishness doesn't allow for that? Remember, on the left, there are no categories for these observable realities. These fundamental self-evident truths such as man and woman. I don't understand how you're studying how to win back a demographic that technically doesn't exist. It's just a social construct, right? So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and react to this panel discussion that completely lacked self-awareness over on MSNBC.
Oh dear.
Of the reasons why they believe this is just a bunch of crap and that they're, this problem that the Democrats are having with messaging and the inability to attract men, it's not them. It's something's wrong with everybody else. So let's take a listen to see what the bald-headed banshee of MSNBC is going to say.
Well, I heard from some of the, the very fancy political streets that.
Oh my gosh, shots fired. Oh my God. You know who she's talking about, right? She's talking about the linebacker with lipstick. Oh, shots fired. Shots fired. I didn't do it.
Bro culture was actually like in the term bro culture is to young men that Latinx is to the Hispanic and Latino community. I just want to throw that on the table. Is that true? Like, is the bro culture?
Okay. Let's be honest here for a minute. If there are any Democrats listening, I'm going to say this to you one time. You want to get black men back into voting for you again? You're going to have to tell Simone Sanders, Townsend, or whatever her last name is, to shut the fuck up and not open her mouth ever again. I said what I said. And I don't care if Simone's watching. I'll say it to her face. You want to get black men back in the party? Shut the fuck up.
Culture, is it a backlash? Let's talk about bro culture.
I mean, look, I certainly don't feel like I'm a part of a bro culture, but there is a manosphere, right? There's a manosphere where these conversations
Oh, they acknowledge us. Wow.
Are happening, where there are conversations that are not happening in mainstream media, conversations about masculinity, about how masculinity is evolving. I get these texts from my dad in WhatsApp groups all the time about how what we are eating is reducing masculinity. I'm like, Dad, I promise it's not because I ate avocados, but that, you're right. So there is an environment where conversations are happening that Democrats are going to have to penetrate. But when we get there, we're going to have a different conversation. And some of these conversations are complicated, right? This is what we talk about, reclaiming values like masculinity and spirituality. What does masculinity look like in a Democratic Party, right? What is the role of masculinity if it's not all toxic?
But it's not. See, that's the problem. So I think you just jumped onto a false narrative. It's not about what masculinity is in a political party. It's what's masculinity in our culture.
In society, that's right.
What does it mean for a young man to grow into a father, to grow into a productive member of our community? So this whole bro culture BS is this psychological warp game with young men telling them that they got to, have a particular attitude about women. They got to look at situations, through this lens where, Josh Hawley and others, hey, we're going to shine some light on our groin and we're going to become more men. What the hell are we talking about here?
Listen, you guys just listen to a squat to P male attempt to try to provide some sort of answer to explain why Democrats are struggling to attract men. He is the embodiment of why Democrats are struggling to attract men.
That part.
Okay, I just call him a squat to P man because he does. You can tell he just stands.
That part right there. That right there. It's not bro culture. It's brotherhood. There's a difference. That right there. That part right there. It's always been a brotherhood.
He just sits. Yes, that's how he goes. Okay, there's not a masculine bone in his body. And if they are going to continue to use talking heads and pundits like this, young boys who are growing up who see if the backdrop of this, if Donald Trump is the backdrop where they see him rise from the ashes after getting shot in the ear, and he's standing there brave, keeping it, holding it all together, talking about fight.
Yeah, the election was pretty much over after that picture.
Sir, you can't compete with that.
Nope, can't.
You can't compete with that. Even old little curly head girly boy, Mark Zuckerberg was like, I think I need to get in the gym and get my chest and my masculinity up, because that right there is the kind of man that I should be. And I've allowed you leftists to suppress my natural inclinations. I'm telling you, Donald Trump did something that day that America was thirsty for. We were thirsty for. We don't know how painful it was, how much blood was spilled, how afraid he may have been. I can tell you what we didn't see. We didn't see a punk rise up from behind that podium. We saw a man controlling his emotions when it mattered most. And because people were watching him and his country was relying on him, he stood up and he told us to fight. Do you talk about did we forget that? The amount of resilience that instilled into our military men, our servicemen who
Very true. And while we're on the subject about Trump getting shot, I noticed a lot of shit libs, as Jimmy Dore calls them, like to say he didn't really get shot. It only grazed his ear. It was fake. Was that firefighter that died at the scene fake? Was his family fake? For those of you who don't know, a firefighter literally died at the scene where Trump got shot. I think he was sitting in the crowd right behind him. Was that fake? And that picture, like it or not, is a strong sign of masculinity, whether you like it or not. And there's a reason he won the election. Not to mention the fact the Democrats nominated an incompetent AKA who slept their way to the top, but that's a story for another day. Anyway. But let's continue.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This bravado and false masculinity that this squat to female is talking about how you have to have certain views about women, that's not what makes men. Real masculine men respect women.
Correct.
Real masculine men recognize the differences and the beauty of femininity as opposed to, in contrast to their masculinity, and they crave it. Okay, now y'all got a bunch of orangutans over there. Y'all got a bunch of orangutans and blue-haired, masculine, hairy feminists. And this is why he's so far removed from this conversation. He can't add anything meaningful because he doesn't even, he ain't got it in him to understand. Okay, he ain't got it in him to understand. And the more that the Democrats use men like him and the softer, you know, not saying it's not masculine to eat avocado because it is, but, you know, I mean, you know, the little pretty boy, you know, Habib looking dude. He's a nice looking dude, but I'm saying he knows the answer to this, but he weak. He knows the answer and he says, you know, we're going to have a different discussion. And my question is, why didn't you be the one to spearhead and lead in that discussion and tell your party that these freak nasty drag queens and men in dresses with this makeup on and these heels and lipstick parade around all of us, men get a very visceral reaction. They have a very visceral reaction when they have to be in and around that. It makes them uncomfortable, and that doesn't make them less manly. That means that they are wired correctly and they recognize an abnormality when they see it. They don't want Rachel Levine's being the norm. They don't want Dylan Mulvaney being the next pinup girl for their favorite beer brand. Men are men, and there's nothing you can do to change that or rewire or reorient them to think any different. And when it comes to their politics, they are going to be looking at the educational system, the workforce. They see themselves being pushed out and pushed into the back. They see it in our churches where women are carving out spaces and demanding to be seen and heard. This is why the Democrats are not only losing men politically, they're losing men spiritually. Because no one wants to go to a church seeing a woman up in the pulpit hollering and laying hands on all these men and all these men laying out and falling out, slaying in the spirit at the hands of her power, allegedly. Listen, I'm just trying to get you guys to think and realize that this discussion is not going to be had objectively and honestly, because the ones who are the loudest and who are participating in this discussion are too weak to tell the truth because the truth ain't in them. So you can't be.
Yep. Truth ain't in them. Now, you guys got the gist of the video. We're going to move on. Here's another reason why men have no incentive to talk to the Democrat Party. Y'all remember this ad?
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough.
Oh my gosh. Y'all hit my Cash App, support the show. Are you not entertained?
Enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
No one cares.
Man enough to cook my steak rare. Man
no one cares.
Enough to deadlift 500 and braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rear?
Man enough to deadlift 500 and braid the out of my daughter's
I hope they played that Negro enough.
hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
You eat carburetors for breakfast. Yeah.
I ain't afraid of bears. That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you never.
Oh, hold on, wait. They're not afraid of bears? Okay, I got something for them. You not afraid of bears? Well, you can always call 1-800-CALL-A-BEAR. Call a bear and get hooked up with a bear right now. Ugh.
Another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women. I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women. They want to control
Wow. You're not afraid of women. That's so masculine.
their bodies. I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies. Have all the cat.
Oh, well, they want to get a dog. Not like, yeah, that is their business. Whatever.
What you want?
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked.
Man enough to raw dog a flight. This was a political ad that played during the last election cycle. Man enough to raw dog a flight. Okay.
Not worth it. I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
That was too much information.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually. Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story. That and Predator.
And I'm sick of
Okay.
so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
You shouldn't talk about Transformers who play sports like that. I'm just saying. You really shouldn't talk about the Transformers who play sports like that, who play women's sports like that.
That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
Yeah, Kamala Harris lost for a reason. Now, before we go to the next segment, let's talk for a minute, fellas. Before we go to the next segment, I didn't realize it was this long ago. About 4 years ago, and there's a reason I put him on the thumbnail. Roly-Poly Martin talked with this young brother named King Randall. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. King Randall, young brother, was doing the work in the community. He was he started his own school and has done some other things in the community. So Roly-Poly had him on his show. And that's what we're about to take a look at. And I am mentioning this interview for a specific reason. So it's kind of part of the title of the stream. What incentive do we have to vote for the Democrat Party? Well, let's take a look at what Roly-Poly said to this young man during his first interview.
You want to support Roller March Unfiltered? Be sure to join.
No, I don't want to support you Unfiltered.
Yes, sir. Explain why in the world you're conservative, correct? Yes, sir. So please explain to me why this bill, why Republicans are pushing forth a voter suppression bill when last year we saw record turnout in Georgia. Record turnout. So why would they want to restrict voting when you just had record turnout in Georgia?
Well, let me start off by saying you had me mistaken. I'm not a Republican. I do consider myself conservative.
No. Actually, I didn't say Republican. I said you're conservative.
Okay.
I said you're conservative.
Right, absolutely.
That's what I said.
Right. Yeah, I was saying that because you called me a Republican on Twitter. However,
Ooh.
with this particular bill, I don't
Yeah, Roland Martin blocked me on Twitter because I called him out. But anyway,
consider voting my particular fight. I do consider voting an asset to us and maybe something we can use as a tactic to help. But as far as us pushing voting all the way out, like voting is going to be some systemic change for the black community, to me is not the way to go.
Yeah, pretty much. We've been voting Democrat for the last 50 years. What's the state of the community again? Oh, right. It's gone to shit.
You look at the human anatomy of the body has as many different parts. And I do respect you guys' fight, in regards to voting, but I don't consider myself fighting for the right to vote that much. Because
do you not vote?
We hadn't got anything.
Do you not vote?
Government. Yes, sir. I vote. Absolutely.
Okay. So when you say you.
Now, there's a reason why they got rid of the dislike button. Fortunately, I have an add-on that let you see the dislike button. Take a look at the like to dislike ratio of this video. 8.3 thousand likes, 13,000 dislikes. Just to give you an idea of what we're working with here.
You guys' fight. First of all, there are multiple fights, there are multiple issues we can be concerned about. Voting is one of those issues. Are you not concerned that Republicans in your state are trying to restrict access to the ballot for no reason other than they are pushing the lie that Donald Trump also pushed?
Right, absolutely. I understand exactly what you're saying. However, again, that's not my fight. I believe.
No. I know. I asked you a question. Ask your question. And the question is this here. Do you believe Republicans in your state are wrong to be pushing this voter suppression bill?
Can you give me the list of things that's all on the bill? Because I know you said the voter ID.
Well, no. Here's a perfect example. This particular bill right here gets rid of no excuse absentee balloting. Republicans in Georgia passed no excuse absentee balloting 15 years ago, thinking it was going to help them. They're angry because you had people who voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and also John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock won. So they're changing the law because they're angry they lost at the ballot box. But for 14 years, it was fine until last year. Is that, again, do you consider that to be egregious on the part of Georgia Republicans? Why would they change the law because they lost? How about making a better argument for the voters?
I agree with you. I do. I agree with you. I'm not against you there. I definitely think that is an issue that I believe you guys could fight. But that, again, voting is not my issue to fight. I believe.
So what's your issue to fight?
My issue, I fight for young black men before they die. And that's what I do in my organization. I do teach them to vote, but I don't tell them that voting is going to be the be all end all.
No one says the be all the end all.
Well, that's what you're acting like, Roland.
Oh, but it's a part of it.
But you guys promote voting like it's just gonna change like the systemic outlook of the black community. That's not where it's at. We have to get out and go do for self in our own communities.
So so define do for self.
When I say do for self, you shared one of my tweets, my videos, and I was actually a big fan of yours, but you shared one of my tweets when I said black people need to stop begging the government and go and do for self out in our communities. You shared the video and called me an idiot. I didn't see anything idiotic about that statement at all.
So when you say do for self, like what? Explain that.
Okay.
Oh, so now Roland want to play stupid.
Okay, for example, here in Albany, Georgia, we complain about our school systems a lot. Many of our young men can't read. They have very horrible literacy rates. We don't have any rehab programs here for juvenile offenders. What I decided to do, I started a program 2 years ago, decided to do for self, and I started taking children into my home. I started taking custody of kids from juvenile court, and I started molding them and training them and teaching them skilled trades, etc. Now I'm 21 years old. I just purchased a school here in Albany, Georgia, to combat us being in the government-funded schools that are not teaching our children what they need to learn. So that's what I mean by do for self, simply getting up and going.
So does anybody have a problem with this young brother just said he did? What's wrong with what this brother did? He started his own school, working with juveniles. What's wrong with what he's done? Trying to figure out what the issue with Roland has with him is.
Point out and do it.
So
I beat the stereotype that I'm young, black in America, and I can't do anything because somebody's holding me down. Absolutely not.
So, question:
Teenagers went and go ahead. Me and some teenagers went and bought a school, and we just bought a school bus simply from going out and doing work. We decided to go fix our own community.
So this young brother is trying to fix his own community without Democrats or Republicans' help. But this Negro is upset that he's not going to go kiss a Democrat Party's ass, pretty much.
I'm not expecting anything from no politician. I'm not expecting nothing from Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or nobody. We're going to go do it for ourselves.
So just think about this. Roland Martin's mad because he's not waiting on the politician to handle business, to stand on business. And Roland Martin's clearly upset about this.
And that's what I believe we need to be doing. I can vote, sure, but nothing's going to change in our community.
So you went to the juvenile court system. Mm-hmm. Is that not government?
Absolutely.
So when you say purchased a school, and this school is going to be what? Private school, charter school? What kind of school is it going to be?
No, it will be independently owned. This will not be funded by the government.
No, that's why I asked you. So it's going to be a private school?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a boarding school.
A boarding school. And then for the folks to be able to afford to send their kids to the boarding school, what kind of mechanisms are they using in Georgia? Their own funds? Are they using school vouchers? What are they using?
I can't hear you. Say that again for me.
I said, what mechanism are they using to send their kids there to pay for the school? Their own money, or are they utilizing vouchers from the Georgia government?
Absolutely. So for our school, we're financed completely by donors. We have many donors that have given yearly endowments to our school that will be able to pay for these students to come to our school for free. Many people believe in our mission, and we're making sure that young black men, where we live, where we don't have any rehab programs for juvenile offenders to even get out of jail and stay out of jail, we have people that believe in our mission that are trying to send children to the Extra Boys for free. We have many people that are trying to send kids to this boarding school to be able to take care of themselves. That's what I mean by doing for self. We got to simply get up and do it.
So you don't believe that government policymakers play any role whatsoever in being able to impact the lives of black boys and others in Georgia?
If we take them out of that government system, we don't have to worry about that. I keep saying.
How is that? So hold on. So here's the question. Hold up. Here's the question. Mm-hmm. How do you remove someone out of a government system when we all live in government systems?
Okay, being literal. Absolutely, we all live in a government system. Absolutely. However, you can do things to remove most government from your life.
How?
As far as trying to get yourself out of food stamps,
How?
trying to get yourself out of welfare. You got to go work. You got to get jobs. You got to get out here and go and do it.
So hold up. So I'm just curious. So if somebody doesn't have a job,
mm-hmm.
are they not applying to government for unemployment benefits or insurance?
Absolutely.
So how can that person remove themselves out of government when that's what government provides?
Absolutely. Well, my thing is trying to make sure you're not allowing the government to finance your whole entire life. As long as you're giving somebody the right to feed you, you're giving them the right to starve you as well. People are living their whole lives off the government systems. It was the day the government decide, well, we're going to cut food stamps, we're going to cut this and cut that.
What you're trying to do right now?
What we gonna do? We have people out here living off those systems. So I believe in teaching our people how to go survive without the government. That's my biggest thing.
But again, though, you keep saying. I'm trying to understand. You keep saying how to survive without the government. You act as if a young black boy who comes into your program will not interface with government in any way. They will interface with government.
That's not what he said. You're just being disingenuous.
Government still driving down the street. They will interface with government trying to get a driver's license. They will interface with government trying to get a voter ID. They will interface with government trying to apply for financial aid to go to college. Mm-hmm. So they're going to interface.
Well, they wouldn't need financial aid if they get a scholarship. Oh, but he don't want to talk about that, does he?
with government in many ways. The point I'm saying is, doesn't it make sense that black folks should be engaged in a political process to where we are impacting policy that also impacts us? Or are you saying that doesn't matter at all?
It matters, but current black folks are not affected at it. So why are you getting on this young man for doing some stuff himself?
Only believe that we should breed politicians in our community that we raise ourselves. People that are
Agreed.
funded by white Democrats, white Republicans alike. If you were funded by anybody white, I don't believe you have the best interest of our community at all. I don't care who you are. Whether you be Raphael Warnock, John Ossoff, Kelly Loeffler, or what's his name? The other guy that was running. I don't care who you
Wait a minute, young brother. Don't talk about Roland Martin like that. Remember the Kamala Harris campaign gave him what, like $350,000?
you are. You don't have the best interest of the black community at heart because we are not funding their campaigns fully. I believe that we have to raise our own politicians, which is what we're trying to do in our program. We are going to put them in government. Some of them want to go run for positions, but we know we bred them in our communities.
But wait, hold on. See, now
Sorry, folks. Yeah, Tiffany Henier didn't get this kind of pushback. Let's continue.
Not nothing white Democrats that came and gave us and spent millions of dollars on all these ads and got folks all riled up about these guys for you to come keep black people remain a Democrat Party and the Republican Party side chick. They only come to the black community.
Yep. He ain't lying. Don't ever see a Democrat. Saw a Democrat last October, came to our church talking about vote for Kamala Harris. Well, that didn't happen, at least not on my end.
When they want our vote to get off and then disappear. We don't never see them again.
But here's the thing that's again is interesting. You just offered a contradiction. You first say you want to remove people from government, but then you say you're raising them to run.
He doesn't want to remove people from government. He wants to remove people from relying on government. What a dumbass. All right. Anyway.
So which one is it?
When I say remove from government, I'm saying keep as much government out of your life as possible.
But how are you raising people to run for office?
Say it again.
How are you then raising people to run for office if you don't want folks involved in government? So here's the deal. Okay, how about this? Okay. So the young men that you're raising up to be in government, how in the world are they going to be able to be effective when you have Republicans who are passing voter suppression laws, and then you're saying, well, that's really our issue? Aren't they making it harder for the very folks you trying to raise up to get elected?
I didn't say our issue. I said that's not my issue that I'm fighting.
But like you just said you're raising up politicians.
Again, that's for when the children, what they want to do. I'm not raising them directly just saying, oh, you got to go be a politician. No, for the kids that want to go in that area, I have mentors for them to go into that area.
But shouldn't we be fighting voter suppression laws that make it harder for them to...
Let me translate what Roland's trying to say. Shouldn't y'all be kissing the Democrat Party's ass like I do, B?
Get elected?
Mr. Roland, if you can't go get... What's the problem with black folk going to get voter ID?
No, the issue is not a voter ID.
Okay.
No, wait. Hold up. Stop. Hold up. You just said, what's the issue? If you live in rural Georgia, and you've seen the closures of driver's license offices, and you don't have transportation.
I got 30 watching. Like, share, subscribe. Hit my Cash App. Support the show. Hit the Super Chat. Support the show.
Then the question is, how are you then accessing it? In Texas, for instance, when Texas passed its voter ID law, they showed that 600 to 800,000 African Americans and Latinos were going to be negatively impacted.
So wait a minute. What's wrong with getting a voter ID? I live in Indiana. I've had a voter ID, and we've had a voter ID law for over 20 years. It never prevented me from voting. Ever. Why is he yelling? Because he's doing everything in his power to discredit this young man and be a hater. And that's going to be shown in my next video.
By the voter ID law in Texas because of where they could.
Now, to the point of my video, of the title of this stream, who wants to put up with a sassy, what man wants to put up with a sassy man like this? You trying to do something constructive for your community, but you got a sassy ass man like this. Like, how come you don't kiss the Democrat Party's ass and rely on the government? Why would we want to be a part of a party that promotes sassy males like Roland S. Martin? Which reminds me, this episode of Colosseum Daily is brought to you by Sweet Sassy Roland's Vote Blue Sauce, now with extra sassy blue juice. Like, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App, support the show, hit the Super Chat, support the show, support your interests. Hit the Cash App. I haven't got any Cash Apps today. Hit the Cash App, support the show. Cash App is pinned to the top. Why would we want to support a Democrat Party that let sassy males run their mouth like this? Why? Why?
Go. In Texas, they said that you could not use your state-issued student ID at a state institution, but if you had a hunting license, you could. In Pennsylvania, when they passed their voter ID law, they required you to actually travel to an office to fill out a form to say you could not afford a license.
Oh, I thought Pennsylvania was a Democrat state. Anyway.
ID, you then have to go back home, and then once they've certified that, come back. There was some 20% of elderly who couldn't do it. There are black people in Georgia who do not have birth certificates who cannot get a voter ID. So that's just one issue with the voter ID. But in Georgia, Republicans, hold up, that's just one issue. In Georgia, right now, Republicans want to make it a crime to hand out water and food if folks are waiting in line to vote. Does that make sense?
Okay, if they gonna do that, then how about before people go and vote, y'all go set up like you usually do and go hand it to them before they go get in line? It's a way around that.
You do realize there were massive lines in Georgia and other states, but again, you still dance around my question. Why?
By the way, this took place around 2020, where the Biden won Georgia. Guess who won Georgia in 2024? Oh, right.
I legislate handing out of water and food. Why?
Well, I don't know. You got to ask them that.
No, you're the conservative. You in Georgia. Hold up. These are your lawmakers, not mine. These are yours. So the question is, how much?
All right, y'all get the gist of this interview. Now, Roly Poly, believe it or not, did a follow-up to this video a few days ago. And this also goes to the title of this video. Just a minute. All right.
Back to the 1960s on day.
All right, y'all. So, I was on Instagram a little bit earlier, and I came across this video. And then I watched this video, and I said, I know I am not seeing what I'm seeing. So I need you to play the video I saw on Instagram. I need you to, y'all don't have the video? I sent you the link to, okay, all right, let me play the video myself. Because y'all, I saw this video, when I say I was hot, when I saw it, I said, I can't believe what I'm seeing. This nonsense that I'm seeing from this person right.
This is I'm going to tell y'all now, this is some real dumb shit. What he's about to do is some real dumb shit, but let's continue.
Here.
In fact, I'm going to speed this up because This really is some bullshit that he's about to be doing right here.
Posting on Instagram, and I'm like, I know that is not who I think it is, posting what he just posted. And then I looked at it and I said, oh, that is him. I can't believe he posted that video. So let me go ahead and show y'all this, because I want y'all gonna trip. Y'all gonna trip. Watch this video.
Is closing here in the city of Albany, and that leaves us with a little over 500 students that were here on this campus, and 19% of those students are labeled as homeless. We have a little over 250 jobs that'll be leaving the city of Albany. And while this is not the city of Albany government's fault, this is time for our local and state leadership to step up, because we'd be stupid to act powerless in this situation. Because while this school is still here, while this building is still here, while this campus is still here, what could this become? Could this become a Southwest Georgia regional hub for trade skills training? Could this become something major that the city brings on to start training workforce? Because if we're training workforce, then we can invite industry to come here. But if we don't have any workforce for industry, they'll never come. But if Doherty County school system could train workforce in adults, why can't the city of Albany do the same thing? So my question to leadership is, are we going to allow this opportunity now to pass us by, or are we going to lead? Are our leaders going to lead? And if they don't want to lead, they need to step aside and let somebody else do it.
Okay. What did the young man say wrong? What did he say wrong? Yeah, the Dems are done. But what did he say wrong?
Oh, he said that if our leaders are not going to lead, they should step aside and let somebody else do it. That's interesting. Now, when I saw it, I remember when he came on this show after
it made you look like a fool.
He was going at me on Twitter when he was supporting the Republicans in Georgia voter suppression bill, and he was talking shit with another black conservative. Then they say, well, he ain't gonna never put us on the show. And I invited his ass on the show. Then he tried to change his tune when he came on the show. Roll it. Joining us right now is King Randall One, founder of the X for Boys organization based out of Georgia. So King, explain why in the world, you're conservative, correct?
Yes, sir.
So please explain to me why this bill, why Republicans are pushing for a voter suppression bill when last year we saw record turnout in Georgia, record turnout. So why would they want to restrict voting when you just had record turnout in Georgia?
Well, let me start off by saying you had me mistaken. I'm not a Republican. I do consider myself conservative.
No. Actually, I didn't say Republican. I said you're conservative.
Okay.
I said you're conservative.
Right, absolutely.
That's what I said.
Right. Yeah, I was saying that because you called me a Republican on Twitter. However, with this particular bill, I don't consider voting my particular fight. I do consider voting an asset to us and maybe something we can use as a tactic to help. But as far as us pushing voting all the way out, like voting is going to be some systemic change for the black community, to me is not the way to go. If you look at the human anatomy of the body has
pretty much
many different parts. And I do respect you guys' fight. You know,
the truth of the matter is you got to do both. You just can't sit up there and twiddle your fingers and rely on voting.
In regards to voting, but I don't consider myself fighting for the right to vote that much.
Do you not vote?
We hadn't got anything.
Do you not vote?
Government. Yes, sir. I vote. Absolutely.
Okay, so when you say you guys just fight, first of all, there are multiple fights, there are multiple issues we could be concerned about. Voting is one of those issues. Are you not concerned that Republicans in your state are trying to restrict access to the ballot for no reason other than they are pushing the lie that Donald Trump also pushed?
Right. Absolutely. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Translation: why aren't you kissing the Democrat Party's ass, B?
However, again, that's not my fight. I believe.
No. I asked you a question.
Why aren't you kissing the Democrat Party's ass?
Your question. And the question is this here: do you believe Republicans in your state are wrong to be pushing this voter suppression bill?
Can you give me the list of things that's all on the bill? Because I know you said the voter ID.
Well, no. Here's a perfect example. This particular bill. What was funny is he was defending the voter suppression bill on Twitter. But he didn't think I was going to invite him on the show. So let me tell you what he did. He then posts that video. He edits it. He edits the video. And then, I'm building this school. Black man should be helping me build my school.
Like you just did. You didn't show that old clip, Negro. Really? Really, Roland? Really?
And in the same Simple Simon Negroes I called out earlier, they were all like, that's right, Roland Martin, that's a shame. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be supporting this brother at his school. Oh, that's right. Them Negroes were sitting here sending him money, and then what he did is he got on Fox News, and Lawrence Jones had him on, then the white conservatives jumped on him, and so he starts.
And you jealous, aren't you? Because nobody wants to see your fat ass on the show.
Raising money. And so anytime he's mentioned me on Twitter, it was all about raising money. Oh, man, they were after me for 2 years. Oh, I was dissing this brother and all sort of stuff.
Really? You were dissing the brother. You dissing him now.
along those lines. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And so here you now have King Randall now complaining about a program, jobs being cut, and how that's hurting young folks. And that's interesting because the program that he's speaking about, that very specific program in Albany, Georgia, he's talking about, go to my iPad. This is the story right here. U.S. Department of Labor pauses Job Corps Center operations.
Oh, boy. Yes, Roland is defending Job Corps. Job Corps, excuse me.
So the very program that he is complaining about has been stopped by the Trump Department of Justice.
Yes, he's complaining. He's actually complaining that King Randall is not crying about Trump. And about it, let's talk. We're going to get back to Rolly's fat ass in a minute. Let's talk about Job Corps for a minute. Let us talk about Job Corps for a minute. Let's go back to my chalkboard here. And we are going to, we're actually going to shrink this text down just a little bit. All right. Hope y'all can see that pretty good. Let's talk about Job Corps. Job Corps is a program that pretty much deals with troubled youths and helps them find work in other avenues, for life. Now, would y'all like to know the graduation rate of Job Corps? Would you would you like to know the average graduation rate of a Job Corps? Wait for it. Wait for it. 38%. Only 38% of the people in Job Corps actually graduate from the program. Would you like to know how much money they make, the average person that graduates from Job Corps makes a year? $17,000 a year. If I'm not mistaken, I have to look at the numbers. Anything below 20, I think it's 25. Well, it's really just 30. 30. Oh, sorry. 30,000 is poverty. Anything below 30,000 is poverty. And the average Job Corps graduate makes $17,000 a year. 38% graduation rate. Not to mention last year they reported, there were over 300 SA claims. Read between the lines. Over 300 SA claims and over 1,000 assault claims. Its estimate to run this program is between, and remember, we're in debt and we need to pay off our debts. To run this program, it costs about $80,000 a year to send people there. And the program of all costs between $2 billion and $8 billion. Not to mention the fact that they actually went over budget the last few years. This is the program that Roly Poly is bitching about. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can look this stuff up for yourself. But this is what Roly Poly is bitching about. Now, let's go back to the video.
Now, here's what I don't understand. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play this again. Because, see, I love it when somebody calls out leaders, but they don't really call out the specific leaders who they talking about. So let me just go ahead and play it again, what he had to say, because he was just so incensed that this program was being cut because it was vital to providing jobs for young people. Listen again.
Let's do it. Center Job Corps is closing here in the city of Albany, and that leaves us with a little over 500 students that were here on this campus, and 19% of those students are labeled as homeless. We have a little over 250 jobs that'll be leaving the city of Albany. And while this is not the city of Albany government's fault, this is time for our local and state leadership to step up, because we stupid.
Hold up. He said it's not the city of Albany's fault, and we will be stupid not to step up and lead. Listen.
It's fault. This is a time for our local and state leadership to step up, because we'd be stupid to act powerless in this situation.
Okay, so he's asking his local leaders to step up, and Roland Martin is complaining about it. Yeah, this is sad. This is sad. Roland's more interested in showing how clever he is than showing issues and making sense of them policies. Yep, it is pretty sad.
Because while this school is still here, while this building is still here, while this campus is still here, what could this become? Could this become a Southwest Georgia regional hub for trade skills training? Could this become something major that the city brings on to start training workforce? Because if we're training workforce, then we can invite industry to come here. But if we don't have any workforce for industry, they'll never come. But if Doherty County School System could train workforce in adults, why can't the city of Albany do the same thing? So my question to leadership is, are we going to allow this opportunity now to pass us by, or are we going to lead? Are our leaders going to lead? And if they don't want to lead, they need to step aside and let somebody else do it.
Okay, what did he say wrong? He's pointing out that Job Corps is going away and we need to do something else. What's wrong with that?
Center Job Corps is closing here in the city of Albany, and that leaves us with a little over 500 students that were here on this campus. And
Here we are. He's complaining about losing the jobs.
And he's also giving solutions to replace Job Corps. So what's the issue, Roland?
Okay, that's interesting. And then he says, this ain't city and state leaders' fault, which means that it's somebody else's fault. So, King Randall, whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Who's over that particular program? Who controlled the funding? Who made the decision to shut that particular program down? I would like to know that. So, I remember seeing a particular photo on social media, and I remember, and I knew, I said, wait a minute. I remember seeing somebody at the White House Christmas party. Go to my iPad. I'm sorry. Is that King Randall?
So now Roland is hating on this man getting invited to the White House. Nothing about the actual issue. He's hating on the man getting invited, the young man getting invited to the White House. And people wonder why. People wonder why men don't want to deal with the Democrat Party.
It says new emerging king. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe y'all say, well, that's just a photo. Well, there was another black conservative who posted a video. Can y'all roll that video, please?
This is the White House to celebrate Black History Month, despite the media alleging that it was canceled by President Trump. But like always, fake news. I landed safely thanks to Delta Airlines and time to take a quick shower before throwing on my Sunday's best.
Not bad, young brother.
Here I'm rocking my Bellagio sports jacket with a black turtleneck and a black Bailey fedora. Soon after this, I ran into my Blackton family on the way to the White House, but I must give a shout out to the guy that made it all happen, Pierre Wilson. He is the real deal, but with moves like this, he's clearly not like us. We were all smiles, waiting in line in this 20-degree weather to get inside to celebrate this momentous occasion because of what it meant to all of us. All I can think about in my head right here is how much I've overcame throughout the years, being open with my conservatism. For some reason, it brings out the worst in people, and I think it's because I refuse to live up to their expectations of me. While I was in the White House, I wasn't quite sure how much I could record, but the security guard reassured me that we had free reign to capture whatever we wanted. So I took full advantage. While I was in
Okay, what's wrong with what this young man's doing? He got invited to the White House and he's having a good time. What's wrong with that? Why is Roland Martin, a grown male, hating on a young grown man for getting invited to the White House and having a good time?
the restroom, though, I noticed these napkins with the presidential seal on them, and it almost felt disrespectful to use it and toss it straight into the trash can. They rolled out the red carpet for everyone. We were dressed to the nine, looking good, smelling good, eating good, drinking good, and sounding good. See, the Marine band that was in charge of the music understood the assignment. They were playing everything from Earth, Wind, and Fire all the way down to Sam Cooke, making this a magical time.
Dang, I want to go.
Everything opened up by a classical version of America the Beautiful, set in the atmosphere. And it was great to be surrounded by so many of my favorite people: Michaela Montgomery, David Harris Jr., Terrence K. Williams.
But he want to throw shade, right? We're supposed to take, but he want to sit up here and act like a bitch, literally act like a bitch, throwing shade.
Go back. Who do y'all see right there on the left? That looked like King Randall. So let me get this straight.
So what?
King Randall complains about a federal program getting cut that's taking jobs away in his town of Albany, Georgia. He's a self-identified conservative. Don't call me Republican. Okay, fine. But you're standing there smiling and cheesing with the MAGA Negroes, the help. You're at the White House. You supporting Trump, but now you mad and you want local and state officials to fix the problem that Trump created. And in your Instagram video, your ass didn't even mention the word federal. You didn't even say Trump. You didn't even say MAGA. You didn't even say Doge.
So what?
Now
you're talking about solving the problem, you jackass.
Now you want folks to step up and fix the problem. What I've been telling y'all the help. That's the black people who are standing with Donald Trump. They claim all black people, y'all on the plantation, Trump is going to be helping us out. And Donald Trump has consistently had policies that have negatively impact people, and these simple Simon Negroes ain't said nothing. Daryl Scott ain't said nothing. Sharice Lane ain't said nothing. Michaela ain't said nothing. Angela Stanton King ain't said nothing. We can go. Joseph Pinion ain't said nothing. Terrence Williams ain't said nothing. David Harris Jr. ain't said nothing. Byron Donalds ain't said nothing. Tim Scott ain't said nothing. Wesley Hunt ain't said nothing. Burgess Owens ain't said nothing. I can go down the line. But now y'all complaining. Trump has sat here and got rid of the settlement to impact the sewage backing up in the yards and the homes of black people in Lowndes County, Alabama. Said nothing. Said nothing about canceling the lawsuit against the petrochemical companies in Cancer Alley in Louisiana, where black people are dying because of that. The help ain't said nothing. So now you want us. Now you want to call on folks to stand up and fix a program. Come on, King Randall. You're supposed to be big and bold. You're supposed to be a big man on campus. Why is it you won't even say Donald Trump? You won't even say MAGA. You know why? Because y'all scared of your daddy.
Okay. See that video up yet? Y'all give me a second. So, Roland. And I'm gonna tag you in here eventually. Roland. Is let's remove this for a minute. Roland. Is this you?
That's how I told y'all need the music. Don't let the ass got fool.
Isn't that you dancing for Miss Ann, Roland? You want to talk? Yeah, Detroit, Detroit 313. He want to talk about either hell, but once again, is this you?
That's how I told y'all need the music. Don't let the ass got fool. That's how I told y'all need the music. Don't let the ass got fool.
Yeah, the help. But he hates on this young man for trying to help the young man anyway, despite the fact the program's being paused.
Because y'all scared he not going to invite y'all back to the White House.
Nah, you scared. Well,
and see, y'all love talking about it. Y'all won't say nothing. Oh, trust me.
You won't say shit about your daddy who was a dementia patient and has stage 4 cancer. So why are you talking about this young man?
I lit Obama up on several different things. I did the same thing with Biden. See,
you didn't lit Biden up on shit. Shut up, Roland.
I believe in accountability. I don't just sit here and say one thing. But see, they real quiet. All this stuff that's negatively impacted black people, all of them are quiet. They ain't saying nothing. Not a word. So come on, Randall. I dare you, Randall. I dare you to call your boy Lawrence B. Jones at
the hater rate is strong with this one.
Fox News, who's now on the morning couch, and say, Lawrence, can I please come on to make a personal appeal to Trump to restore the programming for this, the funding for this program, so we don't lose.
I'll show you the stat. I'm showing y'all the stats. Y'all think this press 1 in the chat if you think, based on the stats you see right here on Job Corps, is that program worth funding again? Press 1 if you do think it is. Press 2 if you think hell no. Matter of fact, press 2 if you think hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Is Job Corps worth funding? Got one. Is Job Corps really worth refunding? Really? Really? You don't have to take my word for it. You can look the numbers up for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Look the numbers up for yourself. I have no reason to lie on Job Corps. But anyway.
Lose these jobs, I don't think that's going to happen. Because you know why? Because see, Lawrence B. Jones ain't trying to be on the bad side of Donald Trump, because they all trying to kiss that orange MAGA ass.
This comes from somebody who's been kissing the Democrat Party's ass for over 20 years. Really, Roland? Really? All right, that's enough of him. Once again, why should men in general vote for the Democrat Party? Why should men vote for the Democrat Party when you have sassy males like Roland Martin running around acting like they're men? Sassy males like Roland Martin run around in that party. Why should we take the Democrat Party seriously? You had to raise $20 million to allegedly talk to men. Why should anybody take that party seriously at all, whatsoever? Why? That is the question. That is the question I ask. Quite frankly, I don't see any incentive for men to stay in the Democrat Party at all. There's particularly no reason a black man should be part of the Democrat Party. Yes, 20 million to talk to young men. Oh, that's not even the worst part, Detroit 313. The spokeswoman for this, yes, spokeswoman, is a big back white lesbian feminist. You send a big back white lesbian feminist to talk to men. But I'm supposed to take your party seriously. I'm supposed to just fall in line and kiss the Democrat Party's ass. Something to think about. Now, I put the link in the chat. If nobody wants to come up, that's fine. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna make my position very clear. Warning: if your vote blue, no matter who, your butt's about to hurt. Nobody is going to kiss the Democrat Party's ass for you. If you don't like it, you can always go kick rocks. Or you can always call 1-800-CALL-A-BEAR. Makes me no difference. But now, I'm about to shut the stream down. If nobody wants to come up, I'd like to thank everybody that came through. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace. Hit the Cash App, support the show. Please. Yo, this is AB Media 83. Want to support the channel? Hit the Cash App. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be notified next time I upload a live stream or video. And always remember, keep it grinding, keep it pushing, keep it moving. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace.